Welcome to 108 Gate. We are doing the Divine Masculine reading. Before that, I hope you've enjoyed the Divine Feminine reading. If not, I'm going to say that I am now ready to start incorporating these beauties. So we've got the tuning forks coming in. This one today in particular is going to be for the throat chakra. So what I will do is at the beginning and at the end of the video, but make sure that you have time, that if you don't want to hear the frequency, you'll have time to turn the volume down or off. And therefore the playlist, there will be a playlist coming up. I'm working on it, like I said in the Divine Feminine reading. There's all these things I've said I'm doing and I'm going to be bringing into the channel, and I am working on it. It's just there's only me at the moment working on this, so trying to get it all set. So Divine Masculine reading. Before we start, to clear the energies, just going to do 3 of those. Here we go. That was for throat chakra. Divine Masculine reading. Here we go. Definitely feels excellent. So it was the throat chakra. We just had the tuning fork for the frequency. Communication, listen and speak with greater care. So as soon as I was looking at that, I felt the listen was like blinking, like illuminated and blinking. Listen. And then decide how you're going to speak about certain things. Listen and then decide if you're going to speak about certain things. So there's a new sense of gauging how to respond to people, a new sense of gauging how you're going to be communicating about certain things. Some of you may be needing to have particularly difficult or challenging conversations, or you may have been avoiding those difficult and challenging conversations, and you're just trying to figure out one, how to get the courage and strength to actually say the things that you need to say. So it may be more to do with how are you going to say it, what words are you going to use to convey this message, how are you going to do it in a diplomatic, considerate manner. So it's not about you backing off and not saying it. It's about you coming forward with confidence, with a sense of necessity in this happening, because there's certain things that happen, the alignments are really asking for us to step up with commitment to self, and commitment to what we're supposed to be doing for our higher good. And part of that is communicating truthfully, communicating in a way that's beneficial, and it's not just beneficial for yourself, it's like to move a situation along, to move something along, to move plans along. So we do have Mercury at 3 degrees deep. Wow, my throat chakra is really blah blah. And breathe. Right, sorry. Mercury is at 3 degrees Capricorn, Sun 26 Capricorn, and Pluto 29 Capricorn. So with the Mercury energy being at 3 degrees Capricorn, we've got Mars at 9 degrees Capricorn too. Definitely seeing a 369 here. We've got Mercury 3, Jupiter 6 in Taurus, and Mars 9. So that's bringing my attention to, now they're illuminated and flashing. I don't know what's going on with this right now, but those magical things that need to be done, it's easy to kind of look away from it or avoid doing it, avoid saying it, because you don't know what the outcome is. You don't know how someone's going to receive it. You don't know how someone's going to be receptive to the comment. So interestingly, the Divine Feminine reading was about you reclaiming something because of being hurt by a comment, or being hurt by something that someone like criticism. It's supposed to be constructive criticism, but it ended up just being really mean or unkind criticism, inconsiderate criticism. This is coming in from the other perspective of you giving that constructive criticism or that comment which is going to be considerate, is going to be thought through, is going to be thoughtful. So it's not that you're being negative to someone, it's just that this is my need, I need to voice it, and I hope you can hear it with the love and the gratitude and the consideration that I've actually taken to put the words together to make sure that this doesn't hurt you. Although it might emotionally hurt them, I think in the long term, if they can see that you're being very decisive in the way you're delivering the words, in the way you've chosen the words, that they can see that you're coming from a loving, caring space. So in contrast to the Divine Feminine, where the Divine Feminine is reclaiming something that was lost in that kind of situation, and the Divine Masculine coming in the other direction of like giving out the words, delivering the words, distributing the words, so if you will. So interesting vibe. It's going to another level. I don't know how you're all doing on your journey. I know some of you are doing certain things at certain times and working on certain things, but I don't know as many as I would like to know. So literally optimism, feeding this vortex, feeding this portal that I spoke of before. So some of you may actually be feeling that the energies are amping up, ramping up, stamping up. And when I say stamping up, I mean like you're really, really ready to put your mark on something. You're ready to incorporate more things in your daily routine, into your plan of action, and actually taking the actions that are necessary and required. This is why it's really important that you're communicating what you need, you're communicating how you may need it, and you're communicating above everything else the truth that's in your heart. So you may have gone through the process of thinking it out for yourself and talking to yourself about it. Now it's the next part of the action plan of actually presenting it to the person or the group or the people that need to hear it on the other side. There's an exchange here that's quite, it's quite valuable. It's quite, keep hearing expensive. The cost of it, the investment of it is quite something, and that's why you may have been putting it off for a while or holding off from it, because you don't quite know what the outcome is. But at the same time, it's like, well, if you don't put that commitment in the correct place with the correct people, how are you expecting an ROI on that? You can't really get a return on your investment if you don't commit to the investment. So let's just keep going. I don't know, that seemed like a lot coming out. Nine of Wands. Seeing where you are going to be navigating certain things, seeing where you are actively involved in certain things, and where you want to be taking certain things to another level. So again, that exchange of the communication, the shift is really, really strong, of how the Divine Feminine is really taking in that receptivity of self again, receptivity to what was lost, or receptivity to what you allowed to just kind of float away from you that was important to you. Whereas the Divine Masculine kind of bringing in someone's reconnection with something, giving that opportunity for someone to connect with you, giving that person an opportunity to invest in you, in something, invest in you and in something, or with you in something. So it's about the long term, it's about the looking beyond where you are currently, and that's where the faith and trust in this situation is really required and important. So Chariot, ready to go. Have you got your things packed? Your words are going to entice this moving forward. This the way you say things, the way you present your I was going to say case, the way you present your story, the way you present your opinion, the way you present your suggestion is going to matter immensely. So instead of doing it the way you may have done it and didn't get the outcome that you possibly wanted, or you're not even doing it because you're too scared that it may not come out correctly, bring some compassion to it. Let the compassion really be understood. Be vulnerable on some level. So as the Page of Cups is spilling something out from the cup, I'm seeing and feeling this sense of vulnerability that you connect with, and then that vulnerability is coming out and it's being transmitted, it's being communicated through not just your words but through your body language, through your auric field, through your ability to make sure that you're stopping and making sure that the other person gets a chance to express their opinion, gets their chance to express their ideas and things like that. So it's definitely a sense of let the exchange happen, as opposed to this is what I want, this is how I need it, and that's it. Like, you either give it me or you don't. It's not so hard-edged. It's more to do with that negotiation. It's more to do with that collaboration and doing it in a way that's feeling good for everyone involved. Right, let's get the next deck of cards and see where this wants to take us. Really digging this vibe. King of Swords. So knowing that, okay, this is how it's going to happen. How you have your picture, okay, this is really empowering energy right here. How you have it visualized in your mind, how you have it playing out in your mind. It's really important to know that not everything is going to go to plan to the T of how it's playing in your mind. The reality of it is very different in the sense of it's only very different if you're holding on to it. So to make sure that you're not holding on to the outcome, but you're putting your 2p in, you're putting your your input in, and then allowing it to do what it's got to do, making the best of and making the most of, making sure your contribution, your communication is the best that you're able to do at that moment, in the best with the best intention, with the best emotional kind of contribution and consideration. So then letting it become what it needs to become. I'm drawn to these flowers here, letting it blossom and bloom, letting it kind of just feel its own space. So you've got all these flowers here, they're not competing for a space there, they're all kind of just finding their own space and cohabiting, coexisting together. This one's over here, this one's facing that way, this one's facing that way. So they're fine, because if they're all trying to get to that way, they might not get the sunlight that they need, they might not get the nurturing that they need. So making sure that you're, as much as you're planting a particular kind of thing, you're also allowing the flexibility for it to blossom and bloom in the best way possible, with the highest potential outcome, the best potential outcome possible, and that is allowing for flexibility. So although you have an idea and you want it to be a particular way, making sure that you're allowing the other side, the other person, the other group, the other investors, so to speak, to come in with their opinions and their suggestions too. Doesn't mean you have to agree to it. It doesn't mean they're going to agree to it. So the clarity being just putting it there, making sure you did the best you can to put it out, the message out, and be aware of what is coming back to you, who is coming back to you, how is this looking like it's mutating or morphing. Is it morphing too much away from where your original plan was? Is it actually morphing in a better way, or is it like kind of retracting from what you are actually trying to do? So this then goes into the divine feminine energy of how in the past you may have had an idea, someone just poo-pooed all over the idea, they were a bit overcritical of it, and therefore you just abandoned it altogether. Not allowing that to happen again. So if you haven't watched the Divine Feminine reading and this is resonating, definitely watch the Divine Feminine reading, because she's working on your inner Divine Feminine. It is working with your inner Divine Masculine, anima, animus, your yin and yang within you, coming together to work together to make sure you don't lose that enthusiasm again. You don't lose grasp of something that's important to you again. You nurture it, you hold it, but you don't let someone just swipe it away from you, and you don't let someone just bring you to a position where you abandon it. That was quite a lot. Page of Swords. Okay, so again, this is what I want. This is the level of you being flexible. Now I'm going forward, stepping forward on the stepping stones. You're not leaping forward with a massive a jolt of energy. You're taking the stepping stones and feeling out the stepping stones and understanding this works, this is not working, we need to pivot here, we need to adjust this here. this is not working. If I do this, it's going to compromise too much of what I'm aiming for. But if we do it this way and that way, are you willing to do it this way? Are you willing to start looking at different options? Are you bringing in that collaboration and kind of vibe and feeling, bringing in the kind of respect that you would want in a situation like this, and kind of modeling how to have respect coming from someone else, consideration of each other. Seeing that, like Queen of Swords, making sure you don't do the same mistakes as before. If you've done in this position before, you smell the flower, you can't see the snake. That snake may be harmless, that snake may be venomous, who knows? But the thing is, don't don't keep yourself blind to the truth. Don't keep yourself unaware of what's actually happening. So here is kind of alarm bells going off to anyone who has been in this position before. If you have let someone divert you from what you're actually aiming to do, so it's kind of like, before you know it, like in the Divine Feminine reading, I explained that you have a practice, or you have a particular routine, just to make it simple and easy and non controversial, so to speak, that you have a particular fitness routine and you do it 3 times a week, and before you know it, someone new comes in your life, or something new comes in your life, new job, whatever it is, and before you know it, you're down to 2 days a week. Before you know it, you're down to 1 day a week. Before you know it, you've forgotten to actually go and do whatever you were doing that was enjoyable and beneficial to you. So it's a matter of not being fooled again like that, not being unaware of how you're being distracted from what you actually intended to do initially. So it could be that I don't know why I'm seeing it like this, but I'm going to say it for those who it's resonating for. If it's not resonating, let it go. A snake coming in and kind of like, well, you know what, you don't have to do it like that, we could do it like this instead. And you're adamant that this is how I want it done. I'm willing to compromise. I'm willing to bring in options and suggestions and things like that. But I'm not, this part is essential and this part is essential. Be careful of those kind of vibes and those kind of energies where you feel like, and just being aware of, King of Swords, where you may have influences kind of distracting you from where you're heading, because that is the pattern we are breaking. That's the cycle we're breaking, to be misled and distracted from where we were actually originally heading. Need to keep a focus on what you're working on. Need to keep a focus on why is it important to you? What did it give you? And that is more of an open-ended question. It's not that you have an answer right now. It's exploring. I need to do this. Why is it important for me to do this? It's because I have all the equipment. I have experience in this. I have enthusiasm. I have a passion for this. Therefore, I feel like I'm going to prosper and work really well in this area. Making sure you're sticking to that. Making sure you're going with that. And not letting someone talk you out of it. There you go. Therefore, Page of Cups, be careful who you're communicating about this with. Be careful who you are conversing with about your ideas and this, that and the other. And other than that, it's going to be for your benefit and your long-term gain, to make sure you're focusing on where you can pivot, where you can bring different things in, because things might change for yourself, but that's the difference. That's understanding the difference between someone just completely outright trying to talk you out of something and someone actually trying to work with you with something. So that's the Divine Masculine reading. I am now going to do 3 of these to close the reading. And so if you don't want to hear the throat chakra frequency, you can pause it in a moment. If you're doing a personal reading, it's 108gate@gmail.com. So here we go. We're going to do 3 of these. Enjoy. Peace and love.